wealthy merchant owned multiple farms in the countryside where he raised various types of livestock. He had a unique ability to understand the language of animals, but was under a strict oath not to reveal what he heard or face death. One day he placed an ox and a donkey in the same stall and sat nearby to listen. The ox said to the donkey, "I can't help but envy your life. You have a caretaker who tends to you, washing you and feeding you with high-quality barley, giving you fresh water. Your only job is to carry our master. My fate is not as fortunate. I am hitched to a plow for the entire day and pushed on with a prod by the farmer. The weight and force of the plow causes my neck to become raw and sore. After working from morning till night, I am given poor quality food. Can you not see that I have good reason to be envious of your life?" The ox had finished speaking. The donkey responded, "I assure you, they would not treat you this way if you stood up for yourself. When they come to tie you to the manger, why don't you put up a fight? Why don't you use your horns to push them away or show your anger by stomping your feet? Why don't you intimidate them with your bellows? Nature has given you the means to earn respect, but you choose not to use them." The donkey continued, "They bring you bad beans and chaff. Well, don't eat them, just smell them and leave them. If you follow my advice, you will soon see a change for the better and be grateful to me." The ox was grateful for the ass's advice, and made a point to follow it. The next morning, the farmer came to take the ox out to plow as usual, but the ox, having remembered the ass's advice, was quite uncooperative. He did not want to work, he made a lot of noise, refusing to be tied to the stall at night. He used his horns to repel the farmer, who tries to fasten him and made a scene, just as the ass had advised. The next morning, the farmer came to the stall and found that the manger still had uneaten food, beans and chaff, and the ox was lying on the ground, making strange groaning sounds. He thought the ox is very ill and it would be futile to take him to work, so the farmer quickly went to tell the merchant. The merchant realized that the ox had followed the bad advice of the donkey, and as punishment, he told the laborer to take the donkey instead of the ox for work and to make sure to give him a lot of exercise. The farmer obeyed, and the donkey was forced to pull the plow the entire day. It was especially tiring for him as he was not used to it. Also, he got beaten so much that by the time he returned back to the stall he was barely able to move, and collapsed, half dead. The merchant, now understanding the poor treatment of the ass, is curious to know the conversation between the ass and the ox. In this part, he comes out with his wife at night time and sits close to the stall to listen. Here, the ass is asking the ox what he plans to do the next day when the farmer brings him food. The ox replies that he intends to do what the ass had taught him. But the ass then interrupts and warns the ox that he should be careful as the merchant has plans to kill the ox, as he overheard the merchant say, "Since the ox can neither eat nor support himself, I wish him to be killed tomorrow. Do not, therefore, fail to send for the butcher." The ass advises the ox to get up and start eating immediately when he is brought food. This way, the merchant will think that the ox is recovered, and will likely revoke the order for the ox's death. The ass believes that if the ox does not follow this advice, it will be fatal for him. The merchant's wife is curious about why her husband burst into laughter, and she wants to know the reason so that she can join in. She asked him, "Tell me, what you laughed at, that I may join in it. I wish to know the cause." The merchant replies, "That satisfaction, I cannot afford you. I can only tell you that I laughed at what the ass said to the ox. The rest is a secret, which I must not reveal." His wife asks, "And why not?" The merchant states, "Because, if I tell you, it will cost me my life." The wife is skeptical of his reason and thinks he's joking. She says, "You trifle with me," and states that if he doesn't tell her immediately, she will leave him. In anger, she went back to the house and stayed locked up, crying the whole night. The next day, when the husband saw that she was still in the same state, he said, "How foolish it is to afflict yourself in this way. Do I not seriously tell you, that if I were to yield to your foolish importunities, it would cost me my life?" The merchant, seeing that it was not possible to make his wife change her mind and that her obstinacy will lead to a tragic outcome, summoned her parents and other relatives. He explains the situation to them and asks for their help in convincing her of the foolishness of her actions. But, she refused all of their attempts, stating that she would rather die than give up her demand. Her children also realized that nothing can change her mind and started to cry bitterly. The merchant himself did not know what to do, as the situation becomes more complicated and emotional. After some time, the merchant was sitting by the door of his house, thinking about how to save his wife, whom he loved deeply, and he noticed his pet dog running towards the cock in the farmyard and tells him about the current difficult situation. The cock then replied, "How foolish our master is. He only has one wife and can't make her see reason, while I have 50 and do whatever I want. He should get a big stick and not hesitate to use it, that way she will know better and not pressure him to reveal what he should keep secret."